Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to make a stock price prediction for Palantir stock. But to make that stock price prediction, I'm going to use Palantir's earnings per share estimates for next year. I'm going to apply a growth rate to those earnings per share estimates and use the forward price to earnings multiple to make that stock price prediction. But don't worry if that sounds intimidating. I'm going to go real slow and explain the whole process for the perspective of a non-financial professional. This is not aimed at financial professionals. This is more so for folks that are not finance pros and they want to get an idea of what Palantir's stock price could be worth by the end of 2025. So without further ado, let's take a look at these numbers. Okay, so I highlighted I'm going to use some estimates and some assumptions to make this stock price prediction. And let me start with Palantir's earnings per share estimate for 2025. Now, according to Wall Street analysts that are following Palantir stock, they think this company will deliver 40 cents in earnings per share in 2025. Now, these are Wall Street analysts that are following Palantir stock. They submit their estimate for what they think earnings per share will be. And this number here on Yahoo Finance is a collection of those estimates. Remember, nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. This is just their best estimate based on the information they have to make this forecast. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but you can make a fair estimate of your base case based on the numbers you have at your disposal. Now, I also highlighted I'm going to need a growth rate because I'm going to apply it to those earnings per share estimates to determine where will earnings per share go from there. Well, where will it go from 2025? Where will it be in 2026? So to make that estimate, I'm going to apply a blended average of two different growth rates. So those same Wall Street analysts that are following Palantir stock, they think its earnings per share are going to grow 21% next year, but they think it's going to accelerate meaningfully. And over the next 5 years, they think Palantir's earnings per share are going to grow at 85% per year. So rather than pick one of the other, I'm going to use a blended average of these two growth rates to make my estimate for where I think earnings per share will be for Palantir in 2026. Also, I'm going to use Palantir's forward price to earnings multiple. As of this recording, Palantir is trading at a forward PE of 65.3, and you'll notice going back all the way to July of 2023, this is right about the highest this stock has traded for according to this valuation multiple. So I'm going to use this valuation multiple. If you pay attention, you'll notice it's the price to earnings, right? And what we just looked at were the estimates to the earnings, the denominator in this equation. So the price to earnings is the multiple of the earnings per share investors are willing to pay for a given company, for a given stock. And for Palantir, right now it's at 65. And finally, I need the current share price, where currently it's trading at $25.84. Okay, so now that we have the numbers, we can go ahead and make our price estimate for the end of 2025. So first, let me draw your attention here to the 40 cents earnings per share for 2025. I highlighted earlier, I got that from Yahoo Finance. And I'm using a 50% growth rate for EPS in 2026. So when I apply the 50% growth rate to the 40 cents EPS in 2025, I get an earnings per share estimate for 2026 at 60 cents per share. If I apply a forward PE multiple of 65 to this 60 cents in EPS, I'll get an estimated stock price of $39 per share by the end of 2025. And you'll notice that would be a meaningful improvement from the current share price of $25 per share. That being said, I think Palantir's forward PE multiple will drift lower. And if it goes all the way down to 50, then the stock price could rise, but only to $30 per share by the end of next year. If the forward PE multiple were to fall to 40, which is a scenario that I don't think is very likely, or if it does touch this number, I believe it'll bounce back quickly because this stock has not remained at this multiple for very long, and I'll share with you the history here again. So you'll notice that whenever Palantir has touched this forward PE of around 40, as you see here in these lows, it has quickly bounced back. And that's likely because investors see Palantir stock, when it's trading at a forward PE of 40, as being a very attractive valuation, a very cheap valuation, an undervalued valuation, and they rush in and they buy up shares of Palantir stock, which then boosts its valuation again. And the same is true on the opposite side. When this stock trades at a forward PE closer to 64, it quickly bounces down. And you'll notice that the several times it has touched these high levels around 60, above 64, it's come back down lower. So it seems to me that investors, the stock market, values Palantir stock at fair value at a forward PE somewhere between 40 and 65. That's the range, right? And if it gets closer to 40, the market sees it as being undervalued. When it gets closer to 65, the market sees it as being overvalued. So therefore, in my prediction, I'm going to estimate that it's going to be somewhere in that range, but not at the tippy top here at 65. So I'm going to estimate that it drifts lower based on its history. Hey everyone, I wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video. Moomoo is a trading platform that allows individuals to buy and sell stocks and other investments. I posted the link to Moomoo in the description below. If you use that link to sign up to Moomoo, it'll help support my channel, but more importantly, you can get special incentives for using my link, including up to extra 10 free stocks. So if the forward PE were to absolutely collapse all the way down to 20, again, a scenario I don't think is very likely, the stock price could more than halve to $12 per share. So where do I think Palantir stock ends by the end of 2025? As I mentioned, I think the forward PE multiple will be somewhere between 65 and 50, and I think the stock price ends somewhere between $32 per share and $35 per share by the end of 2025. Now, some of the factors that will cause the stock price to be above this range would be if the Federal Reserve does indeed lower interest rates by multiple 25 basis point increments in 2025. That would cause a higher valuation for Palantir stock. Investors would be willing to pay a higher valuation if the interest rates in the economy are lower because of the opportunity cost. Secondly, if Palantir gains more traction with enterprises, remember it has great foothold in government business, but if it gains more traction on enterprises in business, that could boost what investors are willing to pay for Palantir stock, and among other factors, but I'm just going to mention those two factors here. So to reiterate, my stock price prediction for Palantir stock by the end of 2025 is between $32 per share and $35 per share. Remember, this is just for informational purposes. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, not even myself. And so this is just my best estimate for where I think the stock price will go based on the information at my disposal. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.